Hey, welcome to Decide New with JW. This is Decide New number 35, freedom. So kind of the tag from yesterday, being Memorial Day, and I talked about freedoms that those individuals gave us because of their ultimate sacrifice. I really wanted to talk about freedom tonight as a whole because I hear a lot of individuals complain about not having certain freedoms and not being able to get toward or accomplish the success that they want to get to. And I think about it and I'm like, look for the majority of individuals, we live in a free country. And because we live in a free country, you have the freedom to be successful if you want to. A lot of the times you're making the decision that you don't want to, and you're using something as an excuse. So if you are free, then success is possible. And you're the only thing that holds you back. And I truly can say that because one of the things that, it makes me successful in the ways that I am is because of the experiences that I've had in life. And I've been very fortunate and privileged to travel the world due to my profession and see a lot of different countries. I've been, all around the Pacific area and Middle East because of my profession. And I've been to, Iraq, Afghanistan, in the Pacific, Thailand, Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, Okinawa, and a lot of the countries that I've been to don't have the same rules and laws and freedoms that that America does. And because of that, I've been able to see certain things, and I've been able to see certain countries and what they do and do not allow. And because of that, that's why I think freedom is so important. And you understanding that because you have the freedom and others don't, you have to take advantage of your freedom. You have to, and you can't use that as an excuse. Because these individuals in these other countries, they have an excuse. They're not allowed to do certain things. When I went to Iraq the very first time in 2004, one of the things that we set up was voting. And some individuals came in from certain areas and they were able to vote for the very first time in their life. And, as a young individual, that had been, just turned 19 at the time, I was like, well, what's voting? It's not really that big of a deal, right? Because I was just, I'd only been 18, 19 type stuff. And I just was able to vote. However, these individuals were, 50, 60, 70 years old. They'd never been able to vote because of the country that they lived in, the area that they were in, and they've never been able to do that. So things that I took for granted, and a lot of us individuals that live in America take for granted is we have freedoms, we have rights, we have certain things that we're allowed to do, I think ended up, voting again in when I went to Afghanistan a few years ago. Women, they just got their rights back to vote, within the last 5 years, but they weren't allowed to leave the house unless their husband said so due to other laws. So, hey, guess what? You can go ahead and vote, but unless your hubby tells you can leave the house, you can't leave. So guess what you're not doing? You're not going to the voting booth. So there's laws and there's things that hold other people back. They hold them back from doing what they want to do. And if, a woman in Afghanistan wanted to go and vote a few years ago, well, guess what? They're not going to be able to. And it wasn't until 2014 where a record number of women came out and kind of went against the grain and went out and voted in record numbers. It was the very first time. But we're talking about within the last 5 years. That's crazy. When now I'm 33 and I voted for every time that I get a chance to, just because it's a right that I have and it's a freedom that I'm allowed to do. There's so many other countries that have other laws and rules that we don't in America have, and that might hold their citizens back from doing what they want to do. I think about South Korea, country I've been to quite a few times, and one of the things they have there is their mandatory 2 years of service within either the military or some type of public service, law enforcement, something like that. And it's 2 years active and it's 6 years inactive. And they have to. You have to serve between 18 and 35. You have to do this time. And it's called conscription. And it's mandatory. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be successful, right? You could be pop star. You could be, movie star. You could be whatever it is. But in their country, under the law, And due to, the conflict that they have with their neighbor to the north, it is the rule of law. And all males must do it. So you could be working towards your success, and then guess what? Pause, go do your time, and then get out. We don't have those things. We don't have those rules. We don't have those laws in America that hold us back from, being able to get to where we want to get. Like I said earlier, if you are free, then success is possible. You can't allow, what you think is holding you back to really be the thing that's holding you back if you live in a free society, if you live in a free country. And if you live in the United States of America, look, there are no excuses. And even if you live in other countries around the world, there's not that many excuses. For some, there might be, rules, laws, specific things that hold them back, but there's also ways to get around those things. And in America, you don't like where you live. Well, guess what? Move. I don't like the state that I live. There's a bus that goes to the next state, I'm sure. There's a train that you can catch across the country. There's a flight you could go ahead and hop on and uproot and move. Don't allow what you think are these things that are going to keep you from success be the things that actually do. Because really, it's all right here. You are the only thing holding yourself back from success. And ensure that you understand that. Ensure that you've been given certain freedoms. Take advantage of them. Don't allow those, things that you are thinking inside of your head, like, well, I'm not good at this, or I can't do that, or I won't be able to get to this, hold you back. Because you have the freedom to make the decision. And that's really what I want you to do. I want you to understand that you have these freedoms, and I want you to make the decision. I want you to make the decision on what you want to do, and let's go do it. Decide and then do. It's that simple, because you have the freedoms to make that initial decision. And think about all the other people that are around the world that don't have the freedom to make that same decision. So if you like the video, hit like, share it, and if you don't, comment, leave me a message, email me at decideanddo@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and take that feedback and use it. So until my next video, thanks for watching. Decide and Do number 35, Freedom.